Hello, and welcome to the Cyberwise Australian Ransomware Update for January 2025. We've started this year with a bang, surpassing November's record high of 15 reported incidents. Cybercriminals are clearly ramping up their attacks on businesses, both large and small, and we're here to give you the most comprehensive data-driven analysis available. I'm your host Tyler Wise, and at Cyberwise we continuously research, verify and analyse ransomware activity, cross-referencing public breach notifications with attacker leak sites to help bring you informative and accurate information. So let's jump into the numbers and trends shaping Australia's ransomware landscape for January. In January we tracked 16 confirmed ransomware attacks spanning healthcare, logistics, community services and construction, among others. Over a quarter targeted healthcare providers, reaffirming what we already knew in that medical and personal data remain prime targets. Evidence also shows that in 9 of these 16 incidents, threat actors leaked or began leaking stolen data online, demonstrating a clear double extortion pattern. One notable event on January 28th also resulted in the full release of the stolen data almost immediately. As stated, healthcare bore the brunt of this month's assaults. Independent medical centres, clinics and imaging providers collectively faced downtime, risking delays in patient care in addition to the obvious patient data risks. Meanwhile, both a major logistics provider and an energy retailer were compromised in late January by the group Clop, who have already published the stolen data in full for one of these victims. Though we haven't heard official statements on the severity of these breaches, when large organisations suffer an attack, it often has impacts on supply chains, or supplementary attacks can be assumed to occur later on. Small non-profits and professional services were also impacted, proving that no organisation is too big or too small to be targeted. We identified at least 9 active ransomware groups in January, being Morpheus, Lynx, Incransom, Money Message, SafePay, Space Bears, Dragonforce, Clop, Amberbook 2. Some appear to be rebands of existing or former groups, while others are well-known operators to us, simply continuing their existing attack campaigns. Common methods to facilitate the attack include phishing attacks, unpatched software exploits, and of course the use of successful social engineering tactics to gain initial access. Of particular note, one of the Incransom victims appear to have paid the ransom as their details vanished from the group's leak site. Meanwhile, Clop's website doesn't currently list the major energy retailer that was reportedly attacked, suggesting a possible negotiation or ransom payment behind the scenes. Multiple victims remain in their provided active negotiation window, meaning their stolen data has yet to be exposed. We'll keep monitoring these cases to see whether the victims choose to pay or face public leaks. So let's quickly recap. In at least 9 confirmed cases, threat actors posted stolen data online in full, often containing personal identifiable information and sensitive corporate documents. With 4 confirmed breaches, it's quite clear that cybercriminals see healthcare data both as lucrative and unfortunately relatively easy to exploit. We tend to see this given the nature of attack sources, such as phishing, where after an initial victim attack, it spreads to other suppliers or customers deploying the same attack style, and as a result, we can see industry cluster style attacks. Disappearing victim names on leak sites often indicate payments have been made, though this is not always conclusive proof. We are generally witnessing only a very small subset of victims choosing to pay the ransom, which is a good thing. Clop's hits on logistics and energy signal a focus on high-value operations by this group, where disruptions can cascade. Between Clop's recent attacks and Lockbit's persistent threat on Australian shores, it helps highlight the more sophisticated attacks from the script kiddie efforts we sometimes see in our research. Now regardless, ransomware as a service means that any organisation can be a victim. So naturally, all this data begs the question, what can we do to protect ourselves and avoid becoming a statistic? While no single defense is foolproof, here are 4 essential cybersecurity measures to reduce your risk. Firstly, employee training. Phishing remains the top threat vector, and we need to constantly be trained to be on the lookout for these attacks. Secondly, regular updates and patches. Close known vulnerabilities proactively and limit access points that can be exploited. Thirdly, offline backups. Prevent your backups from being encrypted alongside production data. Consider a 3-2-1 backup approach. 3 copies, 2 offline, 1 offsite. And finally, segmentation and access controls. Limit lateral movement once the attackers gain a foothold. A least privileged mindset can help mitigate disruption if an attacker is able to access your data. So even if attackers steal this data, these measures can help you respond faster and mitigate the overall damage. This is certainly not an exhaustive list, but something to help you on your journey. Now that's a wrap for our January 2025 ransomware update. We'll continue to track evolving threats, monitor leak sites, and report on the fallout from these attacks. If you found this information valuable, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights. Remember, Cyberwise strive to be the go-to source for verified ransomware news and analysis, helping victims and potential victims stay safe online. Join us next month as we dive into ransomware variants and examine ongoing negotiations. Until then, stay vigilant and stay Cyberwise. Thank you.